out. They do a lot for our kids. You just don't know the stories that I didn't know myself, that I will always keep to myself, that they would just tell me as being a sub. Subs are real teachers too. We are, because we are putting the time in with your kids and they are listening to us and we are praying for them silently and we are listening to them loudly. That's who we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Ellison.
My viewpoint is we're a public school corporation called the South Bend Community School Corporation, and the two most important words are there are public and community. Regardless of whatever organizational chart that you look at, the community is at the very top. The community is the one that pays the property taxes, that pays for everything that the corporation does. The community is the one that votes for us to be their board members and their representatives to act on their behalf. And the community is the one that can ultimately choose to pull back from the school corporation by not sending their kids there and using a charter option or private school, homeschool, or all these other kind of things. So it's not a matter of giving power to anyone. The power rests with the community. They already have it. It's inured to them. It's their nature. And so what we need to do is to make sure that we're doing what we can to satisfy what the community desires, what they want in teachers, what they want in their administration, what they want in their building administration, and make sure we're satisfying their demands, because that's truly who has the most power and is the most important.
Thank you. Our next question, we're going to give 30 seconds so we can try to get in a couple more questions here. And it is ripped from the headlines. It says a teacher recently alleged that she was fired for reporting child neglect to the DCIS after a principal told her not to do so. Is there any reason that a mandatory reporter should not report such neglect to the DCIS? And what would you do as a school board member, without commenting on this specific case, if you heard of such a case? Lynn King Jr.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Thank you. So a teacher has said that she was fired for reporting child neglect, her suspected child neglect, to the DCIS after a principal told her not to report it due to relationship with the family. Regardless of this specific case, is there a reason for a principal to tell a teacher as a mandatory reporter not to report child abuse or neglect? What would you do as a school board member if you heard of such a case?
I'm going to advocate for that teacher, because one of the things that the corporation lacks is full transparency. Therefore, I'm accountable first and foremost to God for the truth. Therefore, I'm going to advocate for that teacher, and then that principal is going to have to give an account to the superintendent as to why he reprimanded that teacher for the truth.
That's right. Jeanette McCullough.
By law, you have to report. By law, you have to report. There's no middleman in between there. So if this teacher was fired because she was fired because she reported, if that's the case, then an investigation needs to happen to figure out what the reasons were. But by law, you have to report any abuse that you see. You don't have any abuse of that.
There is a thing called code of ethics. So you are a mandatory reporter. I work very closely with DCS. My background is in human service. That's the first thing you learn. You report anything and everything that is called neglect, that is called abuse. So if that teacher was fired based on that circumstance, then an investigation absolutely should be taking place and moving forward. But yet again, you're a mandatory reporter.
Bill Schneidecky.
clearly, not only the teacher, but the principal, and it also was reported to Mr. Cummings, or Dr. Cummings, and they were mandatory to report that. First thing I think the board, I understand, that wasn't even given to the board until they read it in the paper or on the news that night. So it's clearly the teacher has the right, and she had to do it. She didn't have no choice.
Stephanie Ball.
So everybody in this room can be a mandatory reporter. Anybody can report what they suspect to be child abuse or neglect. So let's just clear that. You don't have to have any special expertise or degrees or credentials. Anybody can report what they suspect might be child abuse. So yes, that person, has an obligation to report. In this particular headline, you do have to be aware of an investigation needs to take place because it's involving, an employee and such like that. But on the whole, yeah, anybody's a mandated reporter. We all are mandated reporters. We can all report anything that we suspect.
Good clarification. In the state of Indiana, all of us are mandatory reporters. Carlos Lane.
Yeah, go ahead and just agree. You have to report, it's mandatory. As far as the teacher, that's why I'm running. We have to advocate for teachers. Stuff like this shouldn't happen to teachers because they're doing their job. And that's why teachers are leaving. That's why when we read these stories in the paper, where's that trust issue comes up again? You have to advocate for these teachers. They're doing their job. It's already stressful enough. So having to deal with this, it's unheard of, it's unethical, and we have to advocate for the teachers and support staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Ellison.
Well, I would say what everyone else said, you have to report what you're legally required to report. But a school corporation could also need to, make sure you investigate and find out what's going on, so you're reporting the right information, and so that, DCS can then proceed and do what the right thing is to do with the right information. So report, just make sure you know what you're reporting.
Gabrielle Kemp.
Could you repeat the full question, because I know there was a few different layers to it.
That a teacher says she was fired because of reporting suspected neglect to BCIS after being told by the principal that she should not do so, given his relationship with the family.
Yeah, everyone in the state of Indiana is a mandatory reporter, whatever capacity that you work in or serve in. This teacher should have, you didn't say not to comment on the specific story itself, correct?
Well, we're just saying it is an allegation that
Okay.
we can.
An investigation should definitely be launched into the situation and find out what all happened and who all was involved. And that should then be reported to the superintendent and then reported to the school board of trustees.
Okay. Apparently our food has not yet arrived there. All right. We have time for one more 30-second question. It says within the allotted time frame, please explain a specific step you would take to encourage more attendance in the classroom from parents, particularly parents of struggling students, but really all students. Jeanette McCullough.
I heard a lot mentioned about parents. And please understand, as an educator in the classroom before, and the teachers I know that in the audience, if you've ever given parent-teacher conference, parents are coming. A lot of them aren't showing up. So you have to work with that child best you can. You have to make sure that child is getting the resources that they can, and that starts at the top. But what you need to do is try very hard, send out letters to parents, send out notes with your children home with the parent, to the parent, and try to build a relationship best you can with the parent. That's the only way you can do it. You have to try to build a relationship with your parents.
Katrina Baker.
Parents are key to our students. First and foremost, effective communication is key. Yes, we can send out letters, parents need to update their addresses. We also need to send out various forms of communication. Some parents are okay with text messages, not text messages, my apologies. Some parents are okay with emails. Some parents are okay with phone calls or letters being sent home. But yeah, you definitely have to meet that parent where they are at. Unfortunately, a lot of parents are just not aware of what exactly is going on, and a lot of transportation issues are becoming barriers. There are barriers in place when it comes to parent-teacher conferences. Maybe we could offer something like a Zoom or something like that.
Bill Schneidecky.
Can you repeat the question, please? I didn't hear it.
Yes, within the 30 seconds allotted, please explain a specific step you would take to encourage more attendance in the classroom from parents.
Well, first of all, I just read something, and I know that for a fact, a lot of our absentees, especially this year, has been our busing system. We need to correct that to start with. And that's not only safety, but that's to get the kids to school on time. And then write letters to parents. In some cases, I'm sure, but right now, I think our main concern is the transportation. When I went into these schools, they're not getting there on time, and sometimes not buses aren't getting there at all.
Stephanie Ball.
Okay, we have a diverse student population and diverse families, and we gotta be thinking outside the box on how to get parents more engaged in the classroom. So it could be, you gotta go out and find them. You know where the folks live. Maybe we have to go out and make the reach out first and extend that olive branch. It could be meals, it could be incentives. It's more touch points, and we can be creative in how we do that. We have staff who are dedicated to doing outreach. We need to just engage them more, and then also community members do that too. If I can see you at Walmart, I can see you in the classroom.
That's right. That's right.
Carla Slater.
Great. Yeah, so you have to understand what's going on at home, the students and the parents. I've been there. I've overcame a lot of obstacles growing up. I personally had to knock on doors at parents' homes, delivering homework. The students haven't been in class for weeks. I understand the struggle. We have to come together as a community. One quote that always sticks in my mind is, we have to get out of our comfort zone. I had a mentor growing up. We need mentors to help these families, help these students. And we have a great community centers, and we have great townships like Portage Township, great resources for families. We need to advocate those resources for these families. Thank you.
Annette Malone.
Yes, parents make the call, show up at the school, whether your child is doing good or bad. When my girls were in school, our girls were in school, when I got the call, I was there. I would pull my chair up next to Sabrina, show me that dance she was doing in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Anything. So that will keep her back on track and get her back focused on what she needs to do. So show up, get there. Get there off the lunch breaks, take some of that time, take one of those vacation days, show up, call, make that time, show up. I'm telling you, it'll work.
Marcus Ellison.
I think that you have to reach out, as people said, meet parents where they are, but a lot of it is it can't only be the teachers, it's got to be the counselors, it's got to be the social workers, it's got to be the administrators that are building relationships with the parents and with the family. You know, if you get a good relationship with the kid, maybe a good relationship with the mother, the grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, and then talk with one another within the building and say, hey, you need to watch out for this kid this week because they've got something going on at home. So everybody in the building is on the same page about the reaching out to the family, and it's not just build a relationship and share the information as well.
Gabe Kemp.
I will agree that we do have a very diverse student population within South Bend Community School Corporation. We have to be creative and innovative on the ways we need to contact parents, whether it's Zoom, whether it's going on a home visit, whether it's constant call-in, text messages, emails, array of different opportunities. We have to be innovative when trying to get in touch with these parents. It truly takes a village.
Thank you. We will go next to closing statements, but before that, and thank you to the person who submitted the note card as a reminder. My team has been, I'm sorry, did I just interrupt? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had to sit through it. I need to ask that.
That's right. Oh. Please.
Solomon, I need your help. We can no longer use the parent as an excuse. I'll be the parent. I'm gonna read from my notes. It says, I'm going to implement truant officers, work with city and state officials to collaborate attendances with government assistance programs. Parents and students who are getting assistance must attend 85% of the school year. That is your taxpayer dollars. So if they're getting assistance, the child will participate 85% of the time, or they will be at risk of losing their assistance. We must take care of this problem from the top.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's hold on for the closing statements. Before I go to the candidates here in the room, I did tell George Jones that I would read a brief statement because he was willing to participate in a forum but had a pre-existing conflict. He was out of town on this particular date, but this was the date by far that worked for most candidates. Mr. Jones says, I regret that I was not able to attend the forum. I had another commitment out of town that was planned for over a month ago. I'm excited that there is so much interest in our school system. As a former educator who has worn many hats, my purpose for pursuing a position on the school board is because I believe I can make a difference in helping the board improve the quality of education for all students. I want to assure educational proficiency for all students are graduating at a level where they are prepared for a career they have chosen. I also am committed to the preservation of our public school system and bringing back students and families to our corporation. I realize that I can't accomplish this by myself. I realize that it will take a collective effort of the parents, teachers, administrators, and support of the community to make all of this happen. With the support and help of all stakeholders, I believe it can and will happen. Thank you, George L. Jones, South Bend Community School Board candidate at large. And all of the other candidates on your ballot are here. So the last thing we will do now is that they will each have 30 seconds to give you their final pitch of why you should cast your vote for them on or before Election Day. And so we go first to Katrina Baker.
The reason why we'll be a great board member for our school board is because I witnessed firsthand, and I continue to witness firsthand, they immediately committed to what our students, our parents, our administration, and our teachers are going through. Yet again, I cannot express enough that I invite you all to enter. Please go to your background check. Enter into the classroom. It takes an entire community to support our students and to support our schools. Yet again, without you all, we are the community. We have the voice. We have the say so in order to best support our students. So I ask that you please vote for me because I'm very passionate about what I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Schneidecke.
The only reason I have run is to save our schools. I think so many of our schools have been sold and taxes being raised. I promise that will never happen when I'm on board. Never did when I was. I got the experience, but I can't do it alone. I need the community. I need some board members that feel the same in the heart as I do. And that's to keep our schools running in the best of their ability. And we need to do that by making some changes.
Thank you. Those are your District 3 candidates. We turn next to the District 4 candidates, starting with Stephanie Ball.
So I have 4 E's. Is educated, measuring our student success by increasing literacy, increasing graduation rates, and engagement in extracurricular activities and programs, and encouraging the development of new skills of our faculty, staff, and parents. Equitable, creating policies and programs that provide diversity and inclusion, and continuing to address issues that create disparities and inequalities. Efficient, using money, facilities, and human resources prudently. Engagement, having transparent conversations with parents, students, teachers, and other stakeholders to improve our cooperation. I'm Stephanie Ball. Thank you.
Carlos Leiva.
Thank you. I don't mean to work with anyone. To get things done, we have to work together. That's my gift. I build bridges. I bring people together. And I have experience. At 18 years old, civic and community engagement. I've been trained on this. I have experience in community. I have experience running grants. I have experience in partnerships. I have experience in teaching, coaching, mentoring, higher education, getting kids to college, giving kids jobs. We need to come together. To get things done, everyone has to have a voice, and I will advocate for everyone who's listening. I will be an advocate for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Annette Malone.
Yes, I am resilient, I am strong, I am committed, I am transparent. I am Annette Malone, and I will produce for School Board District 4. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Ellison.
I just want to highlight, I'd like you to support me because I want to do what I can to improve things, attract and retain the best talent in terms of teachers, social workers, counselors, through compensation and through making sure they have the resources they need. Make sure the decisions we make are data informed, that we're following best practices in terms of curriculum and in terms of what we're providing to students. If you want more information about my policies and things in detail, I invite you to come to my website. That's electellison.com. Again, it's electellison.com. And I have a lot more information about why I'd like to be your next at-large school board representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Deborah Kemp.
As a proud Riley High School graduate and advocate for public education, I'm passionate about making sure every student in our district has what they need to succeed. With fresh ideas and a dedication to transparency, I'm committed to listening to our community, supporting our teachers, and fostering a positive, inclusive environment for all students. Together we can build stronger schools and a brighter future. I'll be honored to earn your vote this November.
Thank you. Lynn King Jr.
Jesus said, check the tree by the fruity bears. Therefore, if our leadership, if our current administration were doing what they were supposed to do, I would not be running. I would be supporting them and not encouraging them to pass the torch. I'd be continuing to light the torch. However, because it's not, I'm running, and so therefore I'm going to use all of my influence, power, and leadership, community influence, to empower our school system to make sure your kids are being educated properly, to make sure there's accountability. Last but not least, I'm a good steward.
Thank you. Jeanette McCullough.
I will focus on improving safety and rebuilding trust with families through better communication. I bring both experience and a strong commitment to improving education in our schools. I've spent my career working to improve education, and I will continue to fight for every student to have the opportunity to succeed. I believe in the potential of our students. I am committed to helping them achieve. I'm running for re-election because I believe that I have the experience and the dedication to continue improving our schools. My top priorities are improving literacy, supporting teachers with the resources and pay they deserve.
Thank you so much, candidates. I will want a big round of applause for the candidates. The League of Women Voters, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being engaged in your community and in your public school